Welcome mates, I'm Bloodthirsty Lord, but you can call me Lordy, and we're back on Paragon once again. This should be like our our fourth video for tonight. Oh my god guys, the all-nighter has been insane, and we've been updating you guys with as much content as we can about the new hero before I pass out once again on my computer. So hopefully that doesn't happen today, and maybe sleep a couple hours earlier. That's a possibility, maybe. Just maybe. But today's video we're talking about Shinbi, and pretty much doing a build and guide video on the character, because this build that I have created plays against her strengths. It's like 98% impossible for you to survive from the Flash, aka Shinbi. So this is going to be really interesting to showcase you this build, because I think it could be one of the best builds out there at this current time, and most likely by the end of the week, by the end of the month, maybe forever. We shall see. I've given it a test or so, and it's pretty good. But before we get into this video, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe button to keep up to date with the greatest and latest Paragon Gaming content and Paragon Gaming news. And if you mates haven't turned notifications yet, you can do so by hitting that little bell button next to the subscribe button, so you have a chance to become one of the first mates on the channel up to date with my amazing Paragon Gaming content and gaming content that we do produce on this channel. As always, expected here first, so without further ado, let's get straight into this. So I'm going to go to the deck straight away, because I have some secret decks I don't want to show yet. So I'm going to go there, and then most likely be like a cut into the other section. Okay, so we're in the build. The 98 impossible to survive. Let me go down. Give me a second. Go across. Survive. Flash. Bracket Shinbi. There we go. That is the build name. Obviously, this build is disgusting. So we'll go through every part of the build and explain it, because this build isn't as strict as other players do it. I hate when other people make a build that is strict on a character. That is disgusting in my opinion. My build gives you that loose ability to use any card to your advantage in a certain fight, in a certain playstyle, against certain enemies, which is something I think you need whenever you play a different hero, especially a new hero that has the ability to do so much. So we're going to through and explain it and pretty much go through each component of this deck. Let's start it off with the Prime card. So the Prime card that we're using for this deck is the Warlord card, due to the fact that once I get the Prime Guardian buff or the All Prime buff, we're able to get bonus power, damage against minions, so that's really great. Just a great Prime card for doing damage. So let's go into the consumables. Pretty much we're going to explain what we have. We have 2 cast tokens for early game damage, followed by health pot, because just for sustain with this character. Since she's a mid lane hero, she's going to get picked on or poked by the enemy team, especially if you're playing as the mid lane, which is made for the mid lane most likely, but you can also use it in the jungle if you're well at sustaining. This is really great for the mid lane though. But if you're using the health pot, you can stop the enemy team from poking you as much, and hopefully if they do poke you, you can sustain back with this health pot. So that's your second form of sustain. The reason why I say it's your second form, because you have an ability in your kit that gives you sustain already. And it's really great ability. We've shown it in the first look gameplay, and it's pretty insane. Now we have the mana pot, pretty much for extra sustain, pretty much to help me with my mana consumption, but due to the fact that this hero does drink a lot of mana. So you pretty much want to have some cards that give you mana, or mana regen, or pretty much base mana, or flat mana into your character. So we're using mana pot as a way for us to sustain in early game, so we can stay in lane for longer with our mana and health pot. And then towards the mid stages, we'll remove the mana pot, and then we'll get the shaman's drink if we have space for it. Pretty much means we're gaining more mana per level compared to the mana pot. Because the mana pot is initially really great, but then it starts to fall compared to the other mana cards within the growth affinity, aka Shaman's Drink. Then we have the Blink Charm ability, which works with the idea of being a Flash, or pretty much using her advantages, which is mobility. She's very mobile, so you have to abuse that factor. So by having Blink Charm, I'm able to teleport into a fight, out of a fight, any risky situation that does occur. I can be that slippery hero, and no one will be able to catch me, that is guaranteed. Then we move into the equipment stages. We have Adamant Edge with 2 minor casts or 2 power cards, followed by lesser health. By getting Adamant Edge, you get 6 power, 50 health. Once you fully upgrade it, you do get a power spike of 12, which is really great. Then we have Burst Engine, which is a useful card, very useful card. We have 6 power on it, plus 3 mana regen. Once fully upgraded, you do get 12 power, so another burst in damage output, so it's really great. The upgrades on that are a Spark, followed up by 2 major casts. Then we have another Burst Engine, which is like the early game version. The one you just saw then was like the mid game to late game. This is the early game. Pretty much what we have is 2 basic Chronos, aka mana regen items, followed up by a minor cast upgrade on this card. It is really great. Honestly, I feel like Burst Engine is very vital to this character. Pretty much mana regen is really great on this character. And you start to see within the build that we're doing a lot of damage, followed up by a lot of movement as well. So that's something you need to keep in mind. Let's move on to the next item called Magnet Lens. Pretty much this works as a pretty much ability damage card, or ability shred armor card. Ability armor shred card. There we go. That's what I wanted. So pretty much what it is 2 ability pen plus 3 mana regen, or 0.3 mana regen at the start. Once fully upgraded, I do get another power increase. Really great. And the upgrades for this are 2 shocks, followed by a concentrated shock. just to destroy any enemies that do have any type of ability armor, especially if they're building it as well. This is just used to kill the carries because every hero in the game has a natural state of ability armor or armor in general. There's like all these base stats. If I can pretty much remove that with this one card, I'll be able to eliminate people instantly. It'll be a lot more scary than a Countess ult, and that's a lot for a person that's playing like a marksman hero or a squishy hero. I can just one-shot them. So that's why it's really great. Followed by our vision item, which will be Sage's Ward. Pretty much gives you initial stats of power and health. Once fully upgraded, you get more power, which is 6 power. The upgrades on this are a lesser health and 2 minor cast. Pretty much another way to sustain and gain vision within the lane, just in case if I'm about to get picked off, or if I'm trying to do risky plays, I don't get abused for that and do like a mistake. At least I have vision right next to me, so that I'm able to see what's happening around me before I do something, and maybe a mistake could occur. So I'm still have that possibility of surviving that fight, or whatever that's happening in that mid lane, due to the fact that I have vision, aka towards the river from left and right. Then we have Snake Vine Mesh, which is another, not early game card, but I call them switching cards. Fold up the Sage Ward and the Snake Vine Mesh are switching cards. This is something interesting I'm going to talk about very soon. So we've got Snake Vine Mesh, which has 4 ability armor, 6 power, then 8 ability armor when fully done. We put this point into 6 points, the actual full upgrade, with 2 minor strikes and 1 minor barrier. Due to the fact that if I'm getting poked by the enemy mid laner, or pretty much anyone that has high amounts of ability damage focused kit, I can build this item as a way to counter that, and pretty much still do damage towards them. Really great. And now we move on to the next card, which is Solaris Reactor. The initial stats are power and 0.3 mana regen, followed up by the full upgrade bonus of 0.6 mana regen. We have a major strike, 2 of them actually, followed up by Enhanced Spark, which is more mana regen. There's a lot of mana regen. I feel like I might have put too much mana regen. I still need to test that because I haven't done the full build yet. I haven't reached that stage yet of doing the full build with 60 CP. But I feel like there might be too much mana regen. If it is, I might switch my cards to some damage cards. I might even showcase that with the link in the description whenever I do another upgrade build on this character. Let's move on to the next card. That is Charging Brute. This card is vital. It's one of the cards you need to get. It's like a main card in my opinion. So it's Charging Brute. It's pretty much every time you get a kill or unit killed, you gain 10 plus max movement speed for 5 seconds. Max 140 max movement speed. Insane. This is going to help you get in and out of fights. This is going to help you engage and disengage out fights really quickly, especially if you killed minions around you. It is really great in my opinion. And the initial stacks on this card is only 6 power. There's no full upgrade bonus due to the fact that unique passive is so bloody broken. And then we have 3 major strikes on this card, so we get more damage out of this card. So really great. And the last card is called Plasma Channel, and this has initial stats of 60, no full upgrade bonus, but it does have a unique active. Shred 4 ability armor from nearby enemies for 4 seconds. Shred value stacks based on number of nearby enemy heroes. Cooldown 45 seconds. And this is disgusting in my opinion, because with this character, if you're able to shred enemy armor, especially their ability armor, you'll be able to destroy them quite easily, due to the fact that you scale it as a caster or melee assassin hero. So that's really great. So pretty much I'm going to explain what I'm going to go for early game, into mid game, into late game, and what my switchables are. If that's even a word. I made that word most likely. But either way, this is my build, and this is why it's going to work really well. I've done this with other heroes in the past. Put like a couple of items I can switch out every time, just to surprise the enemy team, and they're always shocked by it, and then pretty much I KO them because of that. Pretty much what you want to get in the early game is 2 cast tokens and a health pot. The other bits of it, the mana pot and the shaman's drink, you don't really need until you back twice or something like that. So pretty much once you finish lane, say if you get a kill, you'll go for Burst Engine as your early game item because you'll be able to get more mana regen, more damage, and just poke them more often. If you don't get a kill, you might want a little bit of sustain, so Admin Edge will give you that health upgrades, or pretty much health stat upgrade in the early game, and you get more damage as well of this. It's pretty good. Either way, you're going to get damage, but depending on the situation, if you want health or mana regen, you can choose which item you go first for the Burst Engine or the Admin Edge. We can move on to another early game item if you want to get this in the early game. It's your choice, Sage's Ward, because this is very useful in the early game because you're able to abuse vision, and then you can abuse the enemy players doing wrong mistakes, especially if they're pushed up into your lane and there's no one else ganking from the enemy team and your teammates close by. It's a guaranteed KO on the enemy player, so that is why vision is key to success, and that's why we put it into the build. It's not a main item, this is a switchable item. Just take that into consideration. Then depending on the stage of the game, you can go into this Burst Engine card, which will give you more mana regen followed by damage increase. You can go to Magnet Lens, which will give you ability armor shred on the enemy opponents that you're going for and trying to destroy, followed by more mana regen and then the bonus increase of damage. Or you can go Solaris Reactor, which will pretty much give you more damage, mana regen, followed up by even more mana regen. Just depending on what stage of the game you're in. I honestly don't have a strict build that pretty much forces me to build this item now or I'm not going to survive or win the lane. It's pretty much depending on the situation. If I'm roaming a lot, I'll use another card. If I'm not roaming and I want to sustain in lane and stay in lane more to gain more XP and CP, I'll use the other card with mana regen. If I'm trying to shred the enemy players and destroy them as quick as possible, I'll get the Magnet Lens. That's pretty much how it's working in my mind. That's how I think about it. But those are not switchables. Those are pretty much my main cards that will be in the end-game build. So you need to keep that in consideration. Followed up by Charging Brute will be there guaranteed. Due to the fact that you have insane amount of movement speed, I suggest getting this card in the mid-game, not towards the late game. Due to the fact that you don't need to fully upgrade this card until you reach the late game. You just want that unique passive bonus because that passive is disgusting. And then we have our switchables, which are Snakevine Mesh, Plasma Channel, and Sage Ward. Sage Ward is good for vision, obviously. Snakevine Mesh will give us that damage increase that we need, followed up by the ability armor that we need. Say if we're getting targeted a lot by the enemy players and they're using abilities against us, you will go for this item. Just so you can survive longer and pretty much do more damage and get out of the fight with your Blink Charm and pretty much survive that fight. If you need to get this ability armor card, then you will need it, guaranteed. Then we have Plasma Channel. Pretty much if you're abusing the enemy team and destroying them, you want to abuse them even more. Why not? So pretty much you can use this card to go into a fight, activate it, and depending on how many people in that one area, your armor shred on their ability armor will increase. So obviously that is really great for her because you're able to drop the enemy armor for the ability armor and then you are able to do as much damage as possible. It pretty much feels like you're doing true damage, which is kind of insane. And true damage is like in other games, in other MOBAs, I don't know if it's actually in this game, but pretty much it neglects armor and just does damage straight up towards the enemy. Pretty much that's what you're doing when you activate that card and when you have Magnet Lens on your actual kit. You already shredded their armor, so pretty much you're going right through them and destroying them. So hopefully you guys understand my build, and the mana pot and the Shaman Drink you can get at any time you want. It doesn't really matter. It's just there for sustain. If you don't have enough mana output and you try and go for damage instead, these will help you survive with mana. So that's really great. I pretty much think I've explained the whole build. Maybe I went too in depth because I don't like thinking like straightforward. I try to think complex. If that makes any sense. So pretty much when you're doing in the early game, 2 cast tokens, health pot, followed up by Admin Edge, then Burst Engine, into your Sage Ward, and then into your Burst Engine, Magnet Lens. Sadly, mates, the audio file corrupted here, so I have to end up doing it at 7 AM. I'm really tired at the moment, so please bear with me. So pretty much after you get those items there, you go into Solar's Reactor, and then if you want to get your Charging Brute, Sage Ward, or your Snakevine Mesh, because those are your switchables, you get them anytime that you want, depending on your gameplay and what's happening in that actual match, and the people you're versing, the enemy team composition. If you know what card you're going to go for next, you can use that card to your advantage, pretty much adapt to the gameplay and the style in that match in order to win that game. Pretty much this is going to help you guys enjoy and have a fun time because the build isn't strict in any way possible. It just depends on your playstyle and your gameplay at that certain time. So it helps you win your games, not just my games, helps you win your games. That's the best part about this build. It's not just going to work for one person, it's going to work for multiple people. That's why I love making these builds. And also Blink Charm is a part of your final build, which will give you more mobility with your Charging Brute as well. It's just crazy amounts. That's why the build or the deck for this video is named 98% Impossible to Survive from Shinbi or Flash. Obviously because she's so fast, and pretty much if you get that likely 2% chance, they're going to obviously escape. Because that 2%, maybe you didn't have the chance to kill them due to the fact that you didn't have enough mana to use your abilities or enough damage to kill them with. So that's why I say 98% just in case. Either way, if they try to run, you're going to be right next to them. That's guaranteed. But mates, as always, I want to know your thoughts on this video. What do you think about my build? Do you think it's good? Do you think it's bad? Will you be using it? Leave your thoughts and your opinions in the comment section down below. So mates, if you did enjoy this video, show us by smashing that button like button. Let's try to get 200 likes on this video. And if you want to see more Paragon Gaming content and Paragon Gaming news, all you have to do is share this with your friends and hit the subscribe button to become a mate today. That is all for this video. Oh, time's good, but don't you worry. We'll be back very soon. Hey, that's boys, because they ain't seen nothing yet. Mates, we're dropping sweat, tears, blood for this amazing channel to keep you guys up to date as much as possible. And that it feels right.